And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video, you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. What's up, my YouTube friends? If you're subscribers, everybody, welcome back to another banger motivational video. And today I'm going to teach you guys about self-control. And I don't want to hear, oh, Tyvon, I got self-control. No. The only way you know you got self-control is when you're in extreme difficult situations. Because you can control your feelings and your emotions, and you can control yourself. That's how you know you got self-control. You ever notice when something happened and someone blacked out, and then after everything and they're all calmed down, they're wondering why they did that? That's a person that lacks self-control. In order for you to control yourself, you have to be able to control your emotions, not be swayed by your emotions. Guys, most guys can control themselves to some extreme, but women, if a woman can control her emotions, then she also can control how she feels, and then she will have problem being self-control. So being self-control is like simple, is you know how to control yourself in every way possible and be out of people's control. That's the greatest thing about having self-control, is you're out of everyone's control. No one can control you, because people hate what they can't control. And when someone can't control you, they can't manipulate you, they can't influence you, because people that are easily influenced lack self-control, because they need somebody else to make a decision for them. That's why most times people say make decisions and ruin their whole life. They make a decision because somebody else told them to make that decision. So having self-control is you know what's best for you. You know yourself, and you have self-respect, and you got self-discipline. So you know yourself. But people that lack self-control, all those people always destroy their own lives. And then they sit down and then they will eventually say, I don't know why I did this. How much times have you seen someone in a situation and that's what they say? Oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I did this. I don't know what came over me. That's lacking self-control. That's literally a person that got no self-control. So having a clear head in situations allow you to think. Because if you're in a difficult situations, if you got self-control, you can think about, say, any possibilities to take yourself out of some situations. Because like if you're somewhere and a bunch of stuff is happening, instead of blacking out and raging, you can control yourself and move yourself before things blow up even more. So having self-control is like one of the biggest things, and I feel like a lot of people lack self-control. That's what I think. Because like you can't do something and sit down and wonder why you did it. To me, I feel like that's impossible to do something and then sit down and complain about, oh, I don't know what came over me. I don't know why I did that. No one is more powerful than a person that's out of somebody else's control, especially for a man and also a woman. If a man and a woman, if no one can control them, they're powerful. You know why? Because they make decisions based off how they think and sometimes how they feel. But they don't make decisions based off everyone else and everything else. They look within themselves and think, oh, I think this is best for me, so I will make that decision. That's why most times if you're in a tense situation, those ones that are rational with a clear head, they know how to think quickly instead of blowing up, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. And if you know how to control yourself while someone is yelling at you, and you know how to handle the situation in a mature way, you got self-control. Because if someone is yelling at you, that person is already blacked out. So that person may have no idea what he or her is doing. So while you're there, if you start yelling back and forth, you are just as bad as that other person. Because if they're already blacked out and they have no idea what's going on whatsoever, and then you're there doing the exact same thing, you're literally just as bad as the next guy. But having self-control allow people to say, be a lot more respectful to themselves so they don't go out in public looking stupid. Like nobody want to get up and think about a situation and say, oh, I can't believe I did this and I should have did this. How much times have something happened and you say someone is venting to you and then they said, oh, I should have did this instead of do that? That's a person that lacks self-control. Because while you're in the situation, if you can control yourself in a difficult situation, then you don't got self-control. It's easier to control yourself while you're calm. It's easy. But once you say start drinking or getting high or doing all kind of stuff, and then you have no idea what's going on, then you don't got self-control because you can't control yourself. That's why most times when people drink, they do a bunch of stuff. When they smoke, they do a bunch of stuff. They lack self-control because you can't do something unless you're, say, sober. So when you're sober, see, like sober / calm, it's easy for you to control yourself. It's easy to get up and say, you know what, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go do that. But the moment you're in a situation, then boom, blackout. You don't got self-control. You lack self-control. And if you lack self-control, you're in trouble. Because you have to be able to think of a solution to a problem while you're in the situation. Which means if you're somewhere and something's going on, you should have a clear head to either remove yourself from the situation or to fix the situation, if that makes sense. So being out of everyone's control, you are very powerful because no one can make a decision for you. If someone can make a decision for you, then your life is going to be harder than what it is supposed to be, because you're going to make a decision based off somebody else. Like, you are not them. And if somebody says something to you, they tell you what they think they would rather do. But what they rather do may not be the best solution for you. So with that being said, if you're easily influenced, then you don't got self-control. If you can't, say, control yourself in difficult situations, then you also don't got self-control. But trust me, man, if you got self-control and you know how to control yourself, then you will have a lot of issues with, say, people, not say people that are beneath you, but people that are less than you, because they know what you can do and they see what you can do. Especially if you're, say, more mature than them mentally, they want to control you to be beneficial to them. That's why if you got self-control and you know how to do things and you know how to think and use your brain and control your emotions, and someone can't get the best of you, everybody want to control that person. You ever notice? No one want to control the person that's easily influenced. Everybody want to control the one that know how to control themselves. You never noticed this? They're always trying to find a way to manipulate you and make it look like, oh, somebody else said this and somebody else said that. But people that got self-control are not stupid, because they think about stuff. Not saying they're overthinkers. Most people that got self-control are overthinkers. But people that know how to control themselves, as soon as there's a situation, they think of the best possible solution in order to make the situation like less than how it needs to be. Because, like, how are you going to be in a difficult situation? A bunch of stuff is going on and you're blacked out. And then afterwards, you got a lot of excuse. Oh, I should have did this. No. So in order for you to have self-control, you have to know who you are. You have to have the ability to control your emotions. Because if you're a person that is swayed by your emotions, then as soon as someone hurt your feelings, then you're in attack mode. No. I feel like emotions is a bigger thing for a woman. So if a woman know how to control her emotions, then that's a very powerful woman. Because that means you can't get the best of her, especially out in public. Like, it's best to control yourself in public, and then when you get home, you like, most women go out there and control themselves, and then when they're alone, then they do all the crying and venting on the phone and all that kind of stuff. But that's good. But for a woman that know how to control her emotions, no one can get the best of her. And if a woman know how to control her emotions, then that means she know how to use her brain. Because most women tend to do things based off how they feel and not how they think. So for a woman, I think if she know how to control her emotions, that's a very powerful woman, sorry. And that's not someone you can play with. And I feel like guys know that. That's why most times they not say fear, but no guy want to be around a woman that know how to control her emotions, because guys think those women are hard to deal with. But for me, I feel like those women are a blessing, because I think maybe 2% of women know how to use their brain. But for guys, some guys know how to control themselves not say control themselves. Some guys know how to control their emotions. Like, guys are better at suppressing their emotions until you, say, trigger them. So with that being said, a guy that know how to control himself in every situation is a very dangerous person, because that person can say, when everyone's blacked out and everyone's doing a bunch of stuff and throwing things all over the place, that person can literally do whatever he wants. So I feel like if a man got self-control and a woman also got self-control, and you put those two together, I think no one can break those people up. I think those people will be very powerful. Yeah, that's what I think. But in order for you to have self-control, you have to know yourself. You have to know your ability. You have to control your emotions, because people are triggered on emotional things. So let's say if you're drinking and you drink for problems. No, sorry. Let me say it in a different way. Let's say you got problems and then you're like, you know what? Let me go have a couple drinks. The moment you start drinking, that drinking reflects your heart. It heightens your emotions. That's why most times when people drink, you see them crying. If somebody break up and then they start drinking and crying, it's reflecting how that person feels emotionally. That's why most people, they don't want to drink outside. Like, you can't drink for problems. Like for me, I love drinking, but I'm a social drinker. I never drink one time for a problem. And if you have a problem, it's best to deal with that problem head on. Deal with it head on. That's just how it is. A person with self-control deal with a problem now because they already know tomorrow will be something else. So that's how you will know how to control yourself. By being in difficult, not say difficult situation, but I would say tense situation. Being out of everyone else's control. And I don't know why people want to control those who got self-control. For some reason, I never understood that. Like, people that are easily influenced, like I've said, nobody want to control them. People that you can say, oh, do this and do this and do that and do this, and they go do the exact same thing and ruin their life. Nobody want to control them. Everybody want to control the one that got self-control. You ever notice this? Everyone want to manipulate the person that's hard to manipulate. I don't know if they get, say, joy, or they take it as a challenge to try to control someone that got self-control. I don't know why. But having the ability to control yourself in every situation possible is the best thing you could ever have. Because people that can't control themselves always end up ruining their lives because they listen to everyone else and they don't do what's best for them. And like I've said, people that got self-control, they do everything that what's best for them and best for the situation that they're in. So they do things that they see fit while they're in a position based off how they feel, because feelings will come and go. I always say to people, you know what? It's better to do what you think and not how you feel. Because if you feel some type of way, eventually your feelings will go away. So for women, I think, like I said, a woman that do stuff like what she think and not how she feels, and she's not being swayed by her emotions, that's a powerful woman. Because no one can control her. And a lot of women don't know this, but those ones that can control themselves and can control their emotions, very powerful. That's why those ones are labeled as alpha. Because no one can control them. Bro, that's just how it is. So if you're a person that, say, whenever something happened or whenever you're in a difficult situation, you have no idea of what happened or what was going on the whole time, that's because you're blacked out. That's because why? So if you're a person that, like, say, blacked out, then you lack self-control. You lack self-control. And if you're easily influenced, like I said, then you lack self-control. In order for you to, like, say, develop self-control, is you have to do what you think is best for you, not how you feel. Because like I said, your feelings will come and go. Because say you can wake up and you're like, oh, I don't feel like I want to do this today. By the time you eat some breakfast and drink some coffee or drink a cup of tea, then boom, that feeling is already gone. So what you think is best? You don't think it's best to get up and keep pushing forward of what you think? Or you're going to ruin your whole life and say, oh, I don't feel like I want to do this today. Then you lose one whole day. People that lack self-control go off feelings better than how they think. That's just how it is. Everyone that lacks self-control, notice when you're talking to them, they don't say, oh, I think. They say, oh, I feel. That's why their life is a mess. So with that being said, you can't do everything based on how you feel. If you live your life doing everything of how you feel, you will get absolutely nowhere. Because you're going to wake up every day, day by day. Oh, I don't feel like I want to start a career today. Oh, I don't feel like I want to go get a job today. I don't feel like I want to buy a house. I don't feel like I want to buy a car. If you keep saying that every day, Imagine how long you said that and you watched the day go by every single day and you got nowhere. But if you sit down and you look within yourself and you say, you know what? I think I need a job because I need some money. Or I think I need a car so I can move around. Or I think I need a house. Or I think I need my own place in order for me to do stuff and evolve as a human being. If you do what you think and what's best for you, that's how you can start to develop your self-control. And then when you're in, say, situations, you know how to think while you're in the situations and not lose your cool. It's okay for you to be rational, but you have to have a clear head. That's why when a lot of people are in, say, bad situations, you see them fidgeting. Oh, I don't know what to do. That's a person that lacks self-control. Because the moment they're in a bad situation, they don't know how to think. They start looking all over the place, hoping somebody else can come and, say, make the situation better. But if you got self-control, then no matter what situation you're in, you can know how to talk your way of any position that you are. Any situation that you're in, you can talk yourself out of it, even if you're wrong. That's why people that got self-control know how to put words together in order to take themselves out of any situation that you put them in. Notice. How much times have you seen a person that was held accountable for something that they did, then all of a sudden, that person talked their way out of it? That's a person that got self-control. Because they know how to put words together. Because they literally sit, while they're in the position or in the situation, I don't know why I keep saying position, while they're in the situation, they think of the best way possible in order to make themselves not look as bad. And then they could walk out. That's how it is. That's a person with self-control. So, like I said before, a person that got self-control is, they can control themselves in any situation, especially a different situation, and they're out of everyone's control. Because if you're in someone else's control, then that person will use you to do their dirty work. That person will use you to crash and burn. That person will use you to destroy your own life. And then they will come in, because some people rather you be the same as them or a little bit less than them, not better. So if they see you're doing better and they know you got, say, you lack self-control, they're going to play on your emotions. So if you're in a relationship with someone or you're in a friendship with someone, if a person don't like you being happy and they know you got emotion, if they know you're swayed by your emotions, that person will come in your life and play on your emotions just to make you miserable, the same as them. If you can't control your emotions, then it's easy for somebody to come and trigger your emotions. That's why if you're in, say, an argument with someone and they know some stuff about you, they say stuff that will trigger your emotions. That's just how it is. That's why when someone hurt you, they try, like, the only way a person can say hurt you is by triggering your emotions. Because a person can't come straight forward to you and say something that's not going to be affected to you. They have to, like, go deep and try to trigger your emotions. So even if a person say or do something that you'll feel some type of way and you can feel a shift within yourself that this person literally hurt you, that's them trying to play with your emotions. But when a person try to play with your emotions and you control yourself and they don't know what you're thinking, you're a very powerful person. But if you yell back, you're just as bad as that. Like, yelling back at someone just shows them that you're, not say beneath them, but that just shows that you're the exact same as them. And people love when they can see someone that's like the same as them. So if a person is upset or angry, they want everybody else to be angry. That's why people that are upset and angry, they go out. Or if they're miserable, they want everybody else to be miserable. So they will literally pick someone that seem happy and go bring all their nonsense to make this person miserable. And just from you losing your cool and being swayed by your emotions and start yelling back at this person, then you're just the same as them. You're just the same as them. And you're literally giving that person what they want. Because that person want to see you being emotional and mental damage the same as them. See, if you're a person that's, say, swayed by your emotions, you're going to lose every time. Because someone know that you're swayed by your emotions. And all they have to do is sit down and wait for the right time. And let me tell you something. The only way you can, like, there's a lot of ways that you can control someone. But if a person is, say, having problems with their emotions, all you have to do is go on and unravel that person's emotions. And then you can get that person to do whatever you want. That's why most times most women end up in difficult situation with guys, because some guys play on females' emotion and get them to do stuff that they want. So for a woman that know how to control her emotions and not be swayed by her emotions, those are the women that guys can take advantage of, if that makes sense. But in order for you to develop self-control, you have to learn how to control your own brain, your own thoughts, and you have to know how to control yourself in every situation. And you have to have the ability to be out of someone else's control. Because if you don't, you will ruin your whole life because of somebody else. People will try to manipulate you. People will try to influence you. People will try to just swoop in and destroy everything, and then they go, because they are people like that. All they want is, they don't have nothing, they're miserable, they swoop in, they see you moving forward, you're bettering yourself, they just swoop in, destroy everything and go. They are people like that. But people, they always say people that are stubborn, because if you're stubborn, then that means you don't listen to no one. You don't care about no one's opinion. So you only worry about what you think is best for yourself. That's what they call stubborn. So I feel like people that are stubborn have self-control, because they don't do stuff based off how somebody else see fit. So if you say to a person, oh, can you do this? That person will say, oh, you want me to do this? But you didn't say how I should do it. But I would think of the best way possible in order for me to do this. So I'm doing the same thing, but in a different way. That's a person that got self-control. So if you are easily influenced, you will lose every time, because all it takes is for somebody to come in your life, unravel your emotions, make you, not say make you, force you to make tense decision and ruin your whole life. And then they sit down and then they look at you because they want you to be just as miserable as them. That's life. So you have to develop your self-control. Learn to control yourself. Controlling yourself is the ability to stay out of someone else's control. And from you have self-control, you are very powerful. If you know how to control your emotions as a woman, you are also very powerful. I had to put that in here so women that watch me don't say, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? So I hope this message was useful for some of you guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. I will be back doing more stuff. You go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.